Next stop is the early 19th century. Lewis and Clark should have crossed the Rockies by now, but instead, they seem to be stopped in their tracks. Better see if you can get them moving again. Once again, you'll be exploring unknown territory, so I'll send Rock Solid as your good guide. Good luck, and watch out for rattlesnakes.
I love time travel, but I'm getting tired of resetting my watch. The great outdoors. It looks like we're in North America where the Missouri River emerges from the Rocky Mountains. It's 1805, and we've run into the Lewis and Clark expedition.
Are you sure those journals aren't in the saddlebags? How could we let someone nab our notes like that? What are we going to do?
I've told you I searched those saddlebags a dozen times. Blast the luck. We'll never cross the Rockies without those notes.
And none of my Shoshone kin are nearby to help us.
Say, it sounds like someone's pilfered the pockets of these pioneers.
Ah, visitors. By chance, have you crossed paths with a journal-toting thief? Our life's work has been lifted.
My name is Lieutenant William Clark, one of the leaders of this expedition.
And I'm Captain Meriwether Lewis, the other leader. We're in charge of the group you see here, called the Corps of Discovery. The Corps was formed by President Jefferson to explore the land from the Mississippi River to the shores of the Pacific Ocean.
Excuse me? I think you've been out here in the wilderness too long. Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, and now he's the president. These peace and friendship medallions were given to us by President Jefferson himself. We hope to trade them with Indians in the mountains, but without our journals, we can't take another step.
Sure, you can find a route through the Rockies for us. And since you're willing to stick your necks out, take this medallion to trade with any Indians you meet. Those journals contain all our notes about the untamed lands west of St. Louis. The observations in those journals are invaluable because folks back east don't know much about the West yet.
He went west through the mountains. The journals he snatched also contain advice from the local Indians on how to cross these mountains. Without them, we're between the Rockies and a hard place.
We can't risk the Corps without those journals to guide us. Except for our guide and translator, Sacagawea, none of us have ever crossed such a great and dangerous mountain range.
Those are peace and friendship medallions. They're gifts for the Indian chiefs we'll meet on our journey. In a pinch, they're great for trading, too.
President Jefferson gave us the medallions. He's eager to learn about the Indian tribes west of the Mississippi.
Those are the Rocky Mountains, the backbone of North America. The Rockies are like Carmen, Sandiego, beautiful but tough when you try to cross them.
President Jefferson just bought a huge tract of land from the French at a bargain price. The deal was called the Louisiana Purchase. It was a real steal.
Lewis and Clark brought a large, diverse group of explorers with them. They carried light canoes over the mountains, but had to leave that big ship behind. I'm sure not going to carry it. That's the mighty Missouri River. Lewis and Clark sailed upriver this far, but can't go any farther by ship. They plan to hike across the Rockies, then boat down a westward flowing river to the Pacific Ocean.
One of our main goals in the Corps of Discovery is to find a waterway from St. Louis to the Pacific, but I have a sinking feeling it doesn't exist.
Greetings, strangers. You are welcome in our camp. My name is Sacagawea of the Shoshone tribe. Lewis and Clark hired me as a translator and to help guide them through the mountain wilderness. I grew up in these mountains with my people, so I know of many dangers. On the steep cliffs, you must skirt the surly bighorn sheep. Avoid the strong current of the river. Most of all, beware the hungry bear. I have many memories of growing up in these beautiful mountains. I remember days spent weaving a tall basket. I also recall the sounds of my brother playing his drum. I later lived among the Mandan Indians on the plains. It was there I learned to make a sharp tomahawk. I also learned to make a sturdy moccasin. When I first met Lewis and Clark, they had just completed a long day's travel. They were very tired, and I offered them a blanket. Right away, they were both fast asleep.
Yes? We need to find a safe route through the Rocky Mountains for Lewis and Clark. If I remember my history right, Sacagawea knows all about life in the Rocky Mountains. Maybe she can give us some advice.
Good luck. Don't get eaten by bears.
There's a pass through the mountains. Shall we pass on through? Uh-oh, that ram is in no mood to let us horn in on his territory. What we need is some local advice. That's a bighorn sheep, also known as a bighorn ram. They live only in the high mountains, so we'll really have to be at peak performance to get around this fella. Let's use Indian Sign Language to ask this Shoshone for advice about getting past that irate ram. That Indian looks like he wants to trade, so let's tell him what we need. I guess that Shoshone doesn't have what we wanted to trade for, but maybe he has other things in his teepee. Let's keep at it. That Indian looks like he wants to trade, so let's tell him what we need. Way to wheel and deal. Maybe we can use our new item or trade it back. We found part of Carmen's note. She won't pull the wool over our eyes. All right, Inspector. Who says clues don't grow on trees? That's part of the Carmen note. Pine trees are common up here because they can withstand cold mountain weather, although the cold climate limits their growth. They must be pining for some warmer weather. Whoa, we can't wade across. The current's much too strong. We need to find a safer way. No thanks. I'm not in the mood for a swim. We need to find a safe way across. That Shoshone woman seems willing to trade. Let's tell her what we're looking for. Too bad. This Shoshone doesn't have what we asked for. Okay, down the mountain we go. I guess that Shoshone doesn't have what we wanted to trade for, but maybe he has other things in his teepee. Let's keep at it. Way to wheel and deal. Maybe we can use our new item or trade it back. Great idea. Just be sure you aim that tomahawk at the tree and not at your old friend Rock. Oh yeah. Timber! Good work, Inspector. And thanks to that Shoshone for showing us the way. Stay on your toes, or at least stay on your feet. We don't want to fall in. We've reached the top of the Rockies, and that path ahead leads on to the Columbia River. Great galloping grizzlies. Where'd that big bear come from? That grizzly fellow's a grizzly bear, one of the largest mammals in North America. Lewis and Clark ran into a lot of grizzlies on their trip and gained a healthy respect for them. They had to if they wanted to stay healthy. Indians used smoke signals to communicate over long distances. I wonder if he has a burning question. Ooh, that grizzly is unbearable. The water flows east and west here, so we must be at the Continental Divide. All rivers east of the divide flow east, and all rivers west of the divide flow west. So let's go with the flow. This Indian has no treasures to trade, but he might still have some useful advice. It's all downhill from here. Way to wheel and deal. Maybe we can use our new item or trade it back. Stay on your toes, or at least stay on your feet. We don't want to fall in. I'm not feeling sleepy, but maybe we can fool that bear into thinking we're out for the count. Here goes. Way to go. With that bear gone, we can continue west to the Columbia River. Westward ho, let's go! But first, let's head back east and round up the core of Discovery. We found a terrific route through the Rockies.
Was your journey difficult?
No, we just had to grin and bear it. Come on, let's load up the portable boats. It's smooth sailing from here. We've reached the Columbia River. Now Lewis and Clark can float by boat the rest of the way to the Pacific. Looks like the core of Discovery crew is planning the final leg of their journey west. While they prepare, we have a thief to snare. Hey, that's the third and final piece. This letter will spell trouble for our thief, if we can figure it out. I'll fire up the time cuffs. That there's a plank canoe. It's made by nailing together planks of wood. See how the waters of the mighty Columbia are flowing west? That's a sure sign it's pouring towards the Pacific. Those are the Nez Perce Indians. They helped Lewis and Clark later in their journey. That boat's been rigged with a small sail. It's like being a mini Columbus on the Columbia River. Just ahead lies the Pacific Ocean. Hey, I'll bet it's waving at us. That there's a plank canoe. It's made by nailing together planks of wood. You have to be very level-headed to pilot that flat-bottomed riverboat. That looks like a reed canoe. Didn't you hitchhike on one of those in Egypt? Over there's a fine example of a hewed canoe. They're made by chopping out the interior of a log. Hey, dig that dugout canoe. Native Americans made dugout canoes by burning out the insides of cedar or pine logs. Maybe they should have used ash trees. Say, that dugout canoe is the Nez Perce style boat mentioned in the Carmen note. Back to Acme Jail for you, Baron, and you won't get away a second time.
You've got me grounded, but you'll never get a bead on Carmen's high-flying plan.
Congratulations once again! You rebusted the Baron, learned to speak with your hands, and led Lewis and Clark to the Columbia River. Thanks to you, the wildest part of the western U.S. is well on its way to being tamed. Great going!